Hi, Jeff. Thanks for joining me.
Hey, Steve, thanks for having me again.
Good to have you. We're talking the retail sector of real estate today, coming out of 23 into 24. Last year, we see an absorption decrease from the previous year, but at the same time, we're seeing the lowest vacancy rate in decades, currently at 4.1%. That's the lowest vacancy rate of all commercial real estate major categories. Uh, General retail spaces and neighborhood centers have really been key to that, and they've accounted for about 83% of net absorption as of the end of November of last year. Retail space rents are continuing to be fairly high versus the previous year, but that rate of increase is slowing a bit. Asking rents stand at 3.3%, lower than the 4.4% increase we'd previously seen. We're seeing a lot of strength in neighborhood centers and power centers. Um, and and we're also seeing strength in Sunbelt cities like Phoenix, Orlando, Salt Lake City, um, and as well as a lot of strength in areas also like Chicago, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, where there's a fair amount of net absorption. So, some of your thoughts on a retail sector that seems a lot stronger than folks, the media might have led us to believe a few years ago.
Well, you already beat me to my punchline. I thought the media told us that this was a failing and dying industry, that retail was somehow going to die, and you're only going to buy stuff online,
Well, it
but
gets even better, right? Because the those neighborhood strip centers that were definitely those strip malls that were definitely dead have been the big winner last year.
well, ironically, I think that the interesting part is, I think in a different segment we discussed where warehouse was taking on a different dynamic where you had people that were looking for storage for their online stores or whatever else. Now, those people who were selling online, it's almost like the 40-year-old virgin movie where it's like the eBay store. And you can buy it online, you just can't buy it here type stuff because they need somewhere to put it. And I think you're gonna get. I'm not gonna say you're gonna get. That's what all of that is because we all know it's not. But the reality is, COVID didn't kill retail. COVID didn't kill office. COVID didn't kill everything. And it's almost like people have forgotten that that was an issue before. And I think the reality is, people are still going to go buy stuff because they still want to grab it, they want to touch it, they want to see how it fits when they put it on. Not buy something off Amazon and get it home and go, wait, this was supposed to be an adult and it's a kid size outfit.
Yeah, no, I think you're hitting on some of the existing interesting trends. So yeah, it was easy copy for somebody to write, a few years ago of retail's dying, everything's going to Amazon. It was lazy. Um, but we are seeing some interesting trends now. We are seeing those kind of strip mall locations, some of the stuff in suburban areas doing well. And two trends that pop out at me there is one's healthcare. As baby boomers age, we're starting to see more stuff that's healthcare related go into smaller footprints or in footprints that are just conveniently located
Right.
near them. The other one you touched upon that's an interesting trend is, yeah, the internet's for real, but it doesn't mean everything's virtual. People still want to be able to pick something up conveniently close to home. That's helped a lot of these centers. And we're also seeing things like big outlets like Macy's change their model where you know um, they have a smaller location that's close to these people where they can see and buy some stuff, but they can also have stuff sent to that smaller location. So virtually they can look at anything, have it get to that location. So you can have a smaller footprint, the same amount of goods, have some touch and feel, have delivery, but also virtually have access to stuff that's not there. That's another trend.
Well,
We're
it's
seeing.
almost a dynamic I don't think people have necessarily considered. You go to a mattress store that's in a small retail strip plaza, and you buy a mattress, and people think it's like, well, how like the inventory's on the floor. They don't have it. They don't have a big warehouse that's off the back of this small corner strip center. It gets delivered the next day or 2 days from a larger warehouse where everything else is, and they just sell everything in the store. And that's kind of the point. It's you don't have to have massive amounts of inventory everywhere. In some cases, it may even be better for the retailers to have smaller inventory and sell through what they have.
Yeah, yeah, and I think that's not even a theory anymore. That's just baked in the numbers. It's happening. It's a trend that's happening, and it's positive for these types of retail centers. I think another trend that a lot of people are directly experiencing is, yeah, maybe there's a traditional mall near you that's kind of dying or you don't go to. It doesn't mean people aren't going out shopping. The experience has just changed. And, maybe now it's an open air where there's an amphitheater and plenty of restaurants and entertainment, and maybe there's office and hotel mixed in there. So the shopping space has kind of become more multi-use. It's become much more geared towards kind of lifestyle and an experience. But it's not dead. The traditional malls well on its way to extinction. But the new shopping environment is thriving.
Well, maybe. I don't even want to. I don't even want to say that that's the case too. It's the same thing. With every asset class, it doesn't necessarily die. It just evolves.
Yep. Yeah. And one thing you say about a lot of those traditional malls is a lot of them are sitting on prime real estate. And yeah, maybe you go in and you put in a hotel, you put in some other experiences, some office. You keep the retail in there and you mix it up into more of a kind of live, work, and play environment. You wouldn't call that area dead. You'd call it, as you said, it evolved, it changed, it transformed. But it's just moving forward in a different direction. And like I said, the media was just lazy when you saw these stories about retail's dying. No, no, it was evolving. To your point.
Well, I mean, lazy, or maybe it's just thirst trap clickbait.
Yeah.
So, something that they needed to say so people would click on and go, wait, I've invested in retail. I've been, it's dying. What do you mean it's dying? Am I going to lose? Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's look, the same thing as always. It doesn't die, it just evolves.
Okay.
And I think in reality, with especially on the bigger centers, you're going to see a different transition to alternative space. Maybe it becomes somewhat medical mixed in with retail, so people can play and work at the same time. You've got, while you're waiting, you go do a little shopping. Who knows?
Yeah. No, hey, I think we've got two big generations in play, and one's the baby boomers who are, getting old, and
Oh,
if it's
who
going to
also,
benefit
by the way,
healthcare.
still like to tangibly shop.
Yes. No, they still spend money. And then there's the millennials, and they're moving into family formation now and moving into the suburbs. So, I think we've got, and of course there's more to the world. I'm an Xer than just the millennials and the baby boomers, but they're pretty big and they're driving some interesting trends here. So I think all of this has a ways to play out.
For sure.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Steve.